Welcome to HomeKit 5. I'm Josh.
I'm Brayden.
This week we're going to talk about Aqara, and Aqara.
Yep.
It's an Aqara kind of week, I guess. Let's dive into it. So the first bit of news is we seem to have a new USB stick hub listed in the Mi Home app. So I don't even know what this thing looks like. It almost looks like an antenna with a USB port that rotates to 90 degrees at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're calling it the E1, right? So now we have the Aqara G2H, which is a hub. We have the Aqara M1S, the M2, and then the older USB wall outlet. I don't remember that one. Or the Aqara P3. So many hubs.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be the Zigbee 3 hub. I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. I don't know that I would use this. I would much rather, maybe it comes in at a price that's kind of interesting to put somewhere. Maybe you can use it to extend your network a little bit if need be. But, I mean, honestly, I don't know. For me, I would rather have the G2H or one of the other hubs that I could probably plug in, hardwire in,
Mm-hmm. Like the M2.
Yeah. And essentially, this thing is, their hubs, the Zigbee network is a mesh network. So, as I add devices, it should spread the range out. So, yeah. I mean, I guess I would hope this maybe comes in as the cheapest hub you could buy. I think if you don't already have something and you're looking to get in the ecosystem, that could be interesting. Yeah, and the other interesting thing is, how many Zigbee devices will it support? I think the G2H supports 32, whereas some of the other hubs support 64. So, if this comes in at 64, that could be a little interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, Aqara, obviously, they introduced the new EU-style E1 switches. So these come in a couple of variants. You can get them in the double rocker or single rocker, and then those both come in neutral and no neutral options. Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about them before. They're just officially available now, so they're a wider kind of square look. And the single is just an actual square, and then the double is a square, but it's got two rockers in it. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting if you're looking for switches. We actually just picked up an Aqara switch that we'll probably be installing soon, the US version. So.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of cool as always. Aqara is putting out a ton of new stuff. All right, and our last Aqara story is the Aqara Cube is going to become HomeKit compatible. So this is the T1 Pro. So I do think they maybe have two different versions of the Cube, and it's the T1 Pro that's gonna. It's not even available yet. But it's going to be the T1 Pro that's going to support HomeKit and get a firmware update. So I don't think it's going to be 100% compatible when it comes out unless they get the firmware done around the same time it actually launches and is available to purchase. But it looks nice. I'm really curious how it's going to be exposed to HomeKit. I wonder if there's going to be sensors that it exposes, so when each side kind of gets triggered somehow, it would show as almost like a motion sensor that's been triggered, and you could hook off of that. But it does they've added dots almost like a dice, so you can kind of tell, and they're inlaid, so I think you could tell with your finger which side you're kind of dealing with. So as it flips around, you know what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how useful I would find this.
Yeah, I think it kind of boils down to what's all exposed to HomeKit. You could have it register the flips and stuff, and that could activate scenes, or it could just be like the actual 6 faces itself. So
yeah. Yeah. And it does look like this one will only work with the Zigbee 3 hubs. So if you don't already, we did look this up ahead of time, and I think the G2H is the Zigbee 3 hub from what we could tell. The M1S and the M2 are definitely Zigbee 3 hubs. So yeah, if you have one of those, I definitely think this could be interesting. I think I'm maybe a little more interested in trying out the new Wemo scene controller. But I could see this kind of being a little bit interesting. Maybe down here in the office, we could flip it to one side and it would, like set our podcast time scene off. I could see that. Or, I don't know. Like, we also have our HomePod Mini over there that we can control, so it's like it's a bit of a toss-up. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a good use for it here. We did get a couple questions from last week, so I'll go ahead and address those. So someone asked, how does HomeKit and CarPlay work together? Because we were talking about that a little bit. You want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So basically, right now, we only have, like, if you have a garage door opener, that basically shows up in the CarPlay, like, main CarPlay menu.
Like dashboard?
Yeah. Like the home screen, basically.
Yeah.
It shows you, like, a couple different widgets and stuff.
And it's at the bottom. Yeah.
And so that'll pop up when you get close to your home that is set up in. Yeah.
And the other way you could do something with it is through shortcuts. You can set up personal automation, so when you connect to CarPlay or disconnect from CarPlay, you could then run something which does give you a hook into HomeKit to be able to control. You can either get the state of various devices on your home, or you can control various devices in your home that way. So that's kind of interesting. And then someone else asked, and we may do a video on this, but someone actually left us a voice comment on the podcast asking us how they could use the lux sensor in their Hue to like combine that with the motion sensor to only turn the lights on when it's dark enough. And I do think you would have to definitely convert to shortcut and then say, like, if you would kick it off if motion is detected, and then you would like do an if check and get in the shortcut, you'd have to get the state of the home and look at that lux sensor, and then you could do like if it's greater than or less than the lux value that you're looking for, then it would continue on and turn on the light. So that's a pretty simple one. I may see if we could do that in a short. Been kind of kicking around the idea of using, we don't have a ton of lux sensors that are exposed, but we do have one in the Logitech doorbell. So I am kind of curious, like, if we could somehow do something with the good morning scene when the lights are coming on, based on like how light it is outside, like adjust the brightness of the lights, like how much they're turning on dimmer wise. So yeah, kind of cool. I think that's all we had this week. So just want to say thank you for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening, be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you're on. We very much appreciate that. And as always, 5-star reviews are appreciated on Apple Podcast platform, especially now that they're starting to expand and push that more and competing with Spotify to like get more listeners. We definitely appreciate that. And if you are on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell too. And we will see you guys next week.